So block grids are really useful when we want to create basically grids of things. They're not really columns because they behave a little bit differently. And I'll show you an example. So here I've just quickly built out a grid of SVGs. And to simply add a new grid cell, you just click on the plus button, or you can just copy paste existing grid cells. Now, if we go to the main block grid settings here, we'll notice that we have the sizing is very similar to the columns, where you can define how many items you want within a row. So this allows us to say, by default, I want 5. If I wanted 4, what that does is that evenly spaces out so that I have 4 items in every single row. And what you'll notice is it actually has some interesting alignment options down here on the bottom. And then you can also obviously customize that based on the size. So if on small I wanted it 4 wide, medium I wanted 6, and large you wanted 8, you could definitely do that. Okay. And then also for these, you can add margins and paddings to every single grid cell as well. Now the alignment options are very interesting. Now you won't see it here in edit mode. In edit mode, they're always going to be kind of centered, and the last two, the trailing ones, you'll notice they're kind of justified. And that's just a limitation of this layout in edit mode. But if we preview this, you will notice that the horizontal is set to left. So what you notice is because the horizontal alignment is set to left, the trailing items, the grid cells, are actually aligned to the left. Now we can change that. We have full control. So we can center them. So essentially means they're now in the centered. We can align them to the right. We can justify them, which means 1 on each side. And then we can evenly space them out, this is the layout that we're seeing inside edit mode. Okay. So there's a lot of really great things. I know a lot of people wanted this centered option, and it's really awesome. You'll notice that all the trailing ones, even if we add 1, we did 1, that 1 would be centered as well. Now, the vertical alignment is good when your block grid cells have different size content. So for example, here in this particular cell, I actually made it so there was 2 in here. So if we go ahead and say middle here, what you'll notice is when we preview this page, the content is aligned to the middle, right? So that's really nice. It's very convenient, especially if you're doing maybe a collage of images and you want to make sure all those images are aligned to the middle. This is a really great way to do that. Now, if we look at the individual block grid cells, you'll notice that we have a visibility setting here. This is really convenient because maybe on mobile, you don't want to display everything, right? So maybe on mobile, you want to show less items, or you want to hide some things so that it doesn't take up so much space. We can now easily do that because the visibility is integrated directly inside each block grid cell. And of course, we have classes here that you can integrate with any swatch.